Greetings and welcome to TFT Tarot for today. Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with the Emotional Exchanges, my weekly look at relationships, emotional matters, sex, love, romance, mostly in a family-friendly way. So, it's a weekly reading for the signs of the zodiac, and it's a short one. I just pulled two cards. The first card describes the emotional vibe or energy around one at this time, or for this week going forward. And then the second one, which I pull from the bottom of the deck, is will you get lucky? And of course, that's love, romance, or sex, or anything else it needs to be. So let's start off right away then with Aries. These are good for sun, moon, or rising. Aries, what is the vibe or energy of this week for you? It's the Four of Pentacles. You're going to have a hard time really wanting to let emotions out. You're holding them back. You're not ready to have an emotional encounter with somebody that perhaps you're interested in, or it could refer to, of course, arguments or difficulties or situations that are making you bottle some things up there. You're going to have to let it out eventually, Aries, so you might as well consider that. Now, from the bottom of the deck is the reversed Six of Cups. And this, by the way, is the, forgetting the name, the Final Rose Tarot, which is named after reality TV dating bachelorette type program. So it says underneath, oh, I'm sorry, that was the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups reverse. Well, Cups, of course, means you will get lucky. It will come naturally. But it may be saying that it won't be exactly what you want. That as the Nine of Cups, you're bound to be maybe disappointed or feel like you didn't get what you thought you were, or that it wasn't as worth it. I'm just going to let it go there for Aries. We're going to move on to Taurus then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. So Taurus, what's the emotional feel for this week? It's the High Priestess upright, the advisor. So the emotional feel for this week is that maybe you feel you understand what's going on in romantic or emotional matters, and you want to be able to sort of provide some clear direction. This could be to your own self, sort of like listening to those parts of yourself that say, hey, pay attention to this. But you could also be doing this with other people. Or it could be that maybe somebody even steps in with you in your own situation, feels like they need to show you something you're not seeing there. Now, from the bottom of the deck, will you get lucky? And it's a major arcana. It's Justice, the hot seat. Well, major arcana means good luck. And that means it could happen. It could come. But the card itself says it's a matter of fairness. And so if all things balance out, then maybe, a happy scene will happen. A lucky scene will happen. All right, Taurus. So move on to Gemini. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Give them a good riffle here. If you're seeing this and you haven't subscribed, I'd like you to consider subscribing. We're really trying to build our numbers. But at any rate, if you don't want to subscribe, you can always give us a like, leave a comment, anything that kind of indicates you saw this and to some degree you appreciate. All right, Gemini, what's that vibration for the week going to be for you? And it's the Chariot. It's a major arcana. It's called the limo. So the vibration maybe is about exuding confidence, exuding something maybe flamboyant in a way, you know. Limo things started taking on this new idea somewhere in the 80s where everybody had to arrive in a limo, and, you know, companies probably made a lot of money out of renting and chauffeuring limos. So it's sort of a sense of excess to me in a way. I never got into that, and I realize people want to, you know, celebrate. But to me, this idea of the chariot here is saying that you have a lot of confidence in what you're doing this week, especially related to romantic manners. But you might want to, you know, consider some of the bombast as over messaging. And once again, this is probably just Oberon being a little bit more pointed in his own way. But from the bottom of the deck, will you be lucky? Will you get lucky? It's the Eight of Wands. Wands says it will come with a price. And it says leap of faith. And so maybe that's the price. No, not the price. You will have to work on it. I'm sorry. Wands means you'll have to work on it. And, you know, if you're taking a flying leap towards, you know, romantic possibilities, it could in fact be, you know, something you will have to work at. You'll need a lot of energy to kind of move towards, fix, locate, and find the target. All right, we'll move on to Cancer now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. And Cancer, like the other water signs, Scorpio and Pisces, are very much emotional-based signs. They may have extra capacity to feel certain emotions. Maybe they just cry easy. I'm kind of like that. I cry easy. So don't break my heart. Now, Cancer. What is the vibe or energy around you this week and going forward? And it's the Eight of Rings, which is the Eight of Pentacles. It says camera guy. And to me, the camera guy card sort of says, the vibe says, this is a time to apply yourself to what you know best in terms of routines or systems, or how you understand a technology of something, even if it's emotional, and how you really go about satisfying that, putting your skills to actual use. So from the bottom of the deck, will you be lucky? And our friend, the High Priestess, has shown up again, the Advisor. So major arcana, that says good luck. That means, like, it's maybe you could do it, maybe you couldn't do it. I think someone may be trying to tell you to really reach into your intuitive feelings about the matter. Maybe somebody has advice for you, or maybe you need to sit with yourself and rock it for yourself, Cancer. All right, we'll move on to Leo then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Give it a good riffle. All right, Leo. King of Pentacles, also called the King of Rings. So this is the energy of the week. The energy of the week says, consider generosity where it needs to be, especially about yourself. That maybe when you're thinking of the people you care about, you know, you want to take care of them. And this is sort of a protective card. It's sort of a card of organization and management. But it could also be saying there's a generosity that's a little bit more material based, that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to telling somebody you care about them. Will you get lucky? And it's Wands, so you'll have to work at it. It's the King of Wands, the executive producer, and they're reversed. And so you'll have to work on it, but you may need to tone down some of the flamboyance, some of the uber overconfidence you may be feeling here. And maybe you're just not as charismatic as you think you are. You need to work on your charm factors. Brush your teeth and comb your hair. All right, Leo, we now move to Virgo. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. What is the vibe or energy around you at this time or going forward? And it's the Four of Swords. It says reassuring rose, but the Four of Swords often talks for somebody who needs to work on themselves, especially maybe they could be in recovery from a broken heart or from other problems. It could be health problems, it could be emotional problems. So the reassuring heart is here to tell you that at this time, Virgo, it's probably more important for you to take care of yourself, especially in emotional matters. You may be really delicate right now for some reason. So from the bottom of the deck, will you get lucky? And it's cups, so it will happen naturally. It's the Eight of Cups reversed, though. And this could be saying that maybe it's about a situation that you thought was over. Maybe you feel like, there still is an emotional situation between somebody else, or maybe this is about rekindling that, where you may have felt that maybe you were going to move on, but maybe not. All right, Virgo. We'll move to Libra now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. It's a little warm up here in the room. Okay, the energy or vibe for Libra for this week, especially in terms of romance, it's the Two of Cups reversed. And it says cheers, but it's reversed. So the energy or the vibe of the week may be talking about things in a relationship that the timing is off, or maybe there are indications of even worse. Maybe this is about looking at a relationship and realizing that you've kind of reached a zenith, or that you don't really know each other anymore. That's pretty serious, I think. From the bottom of the deck, you get lucky. It's a major arcana, the Hermit. In the moment, it says. But major arcana says good luck, but the Hermit card says maybe this is a time to be alone and be in your own moment, and not necessarily think about the other aspects of love or romance. I'll move on to Scorpio now. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the energy or buzz around you for this week ahead, Scorpio? And you too got the High Priestess, the advisor. So Scorpio, you're always somewhat intuitive. If you're like me or other Scorpios I know, this could be saying really you are thinking intuitively about what's going on in your emotional life. It may be that if you're already with somebody, you're thinking about other things about them that maybe you don't always see on the surface. So maybe you're getting messages about ways that this love is growing or moves to something equitable between you both more. But if you're not with somebody, then the advice or the intuition could be about what you see as the possibilities or what you see as what's basically going on in your love life. So will you get lucky? And it's a pentacle, so it will come with a price. I don't know how steep the price will be. It's the reversed King of Pentacles, King of Rings here, the jeweler. So it will come with a price, and it may be that you have more work to do, that maybe there are certain things that need to be fortified, that there's a thing just not quite running optimally at this time. It could be your routine, it could be other things about you, but you might have to just work on presentation or work on some aspects of yourself. Sometimes the King of Pentacles reverse could be a person who is withdrawn because maybe they placed material goods more at the heart of what they're looking for. And I know that can happen to Scorpio. So good luck, Scorpio. Dang. Okay, so we're going to move on to Sagittarius then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. And Sagittarius, what's the vibe? What's the buzz? What's the energy around you? It's the Queen of Pentacles, and she's upright. It says the single mom. So the energy seems to be a little bit of you feeling like you need to take care of yourself, maybe romantically or emotionally or otherwise. But there also is sort of a sense maybe that you have concerns about other people in your life too. And that maybe this is saying if there is someone already who you have a special relationship, you want to make sure they feel cared for too, and that they're supported in their goals, just as you want others to support you, Sagittarius. So will you be lucky? And it's cups, so it will come naturally. But it's the reverse Ten of Cups. It says the proposal. So, of course, the reverse could be the opposite of such a proposal. I hate having to say that, but I think it'll come naturally, but it may just not be the ecstatic, super love that you expected to go with that. You know, Sagittarians, maybe you have really high standards for being in love or being in a sense of, you know, romance, you know, everything has to be perfect maybe. And maybe you have to accept a little less than perfection, Sagittarius. All right, we'll move on to Capricorn then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Capricorn, what kind of vibe or energy will be around you in the week ahead? What does it feel like for you? And there's that King of Wands again. So they're upright this time, so that's really good. Maybe Capricorn, you feel like you could just conquer the world here. You feel so brave and so charismatic, and you feel like you have charm to burn. And so you're treating everyone as if they are potential highly interesting people to you. Everyone you're treating is somebody that you really have some sense of real care for. I mean, maybe you're all looking at them and wondering, you know, if you're going to be lucky. But from the bottom of the deck, the lucky card is the Four of Cups, or flutes reversed. And cups means it will come naturally. But the Four of Cups reversed could also be saying too that all of this sort of looking around kind of thing boils down to finding that one and making that choice. And so if you're in the dating game, then maybe something is really going to click and you're going to feel like, I don't need to date anymore. I found my steady. But if you're already in a relationship, this could just be signifying that the relationship will become even more personal, more dynamic to that sense of you as a couple or part of a couple. Good luck, Capricorn. We'll move on to Aquarius now. Sun, moon, or rising. What's your vibe? What's the energy for those born under the sign of brotherhood? What's the vibe? What's the energy? And it's the Page of Swords or the Page of Mirrors. It says the gossip. That's a little rude for the Page of Swords, but seriously speaking, the Page of Swords represents a situation where maybe you are really able to articulate and talk about things that fall within the emotional realms. So there could be gossip. You could be talking about, a friend's, soon to be new lover, what you know about them on your own, that kind of thing. But in terms of your personal life, Aquarius, I think this is just saying, try to be your better angel. Try not to be that little gossipy devil there, but believe in yourself in terms of tactfulness and grace, because that's, to me, the true hallmarks of this card, the Page of Swords. So will you be lucky? Maybe it's the Wands. You'll have to work at it. Once again, our King of Roses or Wands has shown up. There's a high potential with this card to be really incredibly magnanimous and incredibly charismatic and moving. It's really like maybe sealing the deal in a way. So yeah, I think if you're wondering about that, yeah. All right, we're on Pisces. Sun, moon, or rising. Our last sign. So I've been saying sun, moon, or rising, but I don't know if everybody knows astrology. Astrology, you have a sun sign, you're Scorpio, but you might have a moon sign. Maybe it's Virgo. And then you might have a rising sign that's Taurus. These just refer to different astrological phenomena in one's chart. But the reading is such that if you know that you have a different moon sign or ascendant than your rising, you can read those parts of this reading for some more information perhaps, or details that could concern you. So Pisces, what is that vibrant energy that comes to you? And it's the Knight of Swords reversed. It says the meathead. But the Knight of Swords reversed really can be the kind of person that ends up kind of blundering because maybe they're a little too forceful. So this could be saying, like, if you feel like, the relationship or the one you're in or the situation you're in requires you to be a little bit more aggressive or assertive, that may not be what it needs. It may indicate that, you're bound to go too fast, rush something, or maybe actually make something else worse in the way that, a reversed Knight of Swords can. So from the bottom of the deck, will you get lucky? And it's the Wand, so it will come to you naturally. It's the reversed Page of Wands, so it's kind of like this page, that page. And the reversed Page of Wands, it will come to you naturally, but you may have to look a little harder for this thing. You may almost miss it. It could be something that is an opportunity that comes vaguely to you. Somebody says, hey, want to get together? And you're just thinking they're making a friendly comment, but maybe they really did. So be on your toes for that. Don't miss the messages that might be coming to you, Pisces. And that goes for all of us, Pay attention to what's going on with other people's emotions. Try to at least. Try to understand that not everybody follows the exact same course that your heart does. So when you do, kind of overcome that, maybe love can happen. So I'm going to take a moment now and talk about the rest of the shows for this week. It's Friday, but tomorrow will be happy hour. Happy hour will be at its normal time of 10 a.m. Mr. O has to go to work, so there won't be a lot of overtime, but we're usually good for an hour or so. So check that out. It's a positive, uplifting message, possibly even divine. Check it out. We're all happy there. We have a lot of fun. We have the greatest chat room in the universe, Tarot Tribe. You guys are great. Thank you so much for that. And of course, on Sunday, we have Banshee's Material Matters, which is a very good economic kind of forecast for each sign of the zodiac. She does an extra card than I do, so it's a little longer. It's definitely worth listening to. She has astrological tips that are going on. We're getting close to the actual Mercury retrograde. Other things that are not necessarily cool have happened that may be affecting all these readings that we're having here. So check that out. That's Sundays at 10 a.m. It is recorded, but once again, we're premiering it live in the chat room, and we have a hell of a lot of fun there. So join us. You don't know what you're missing unless you join us. And then later Sunday is our other live stream. We do two live streams a week. One's on Thursday nights. This one is the Sunday afternoon one. It's a busy one. We're here from 2 to 4 doing that. We know we have a birthday reading. We do some birthday readings usually on a show. So after that, whoever's here gets it. We may have to close the list after a half an hour because people fill up, and we want to give you quality time. So we're not doing like one card, bam, okay, next. We really kind of give you a reading. So check that out. And thank you everyone for all your support. We are continuing to move ahead slowly but surely with our subscriber base. Don't forget to watch our shorts on YouTube. Every day there is 2 shorts, about a minute or so each. One is the card of the day. It's an enhanced version that I put on YouTube. And the other one is the Oracle of the Day. I do 2 oracles for the week. Banshee does the other 5. We put a lot of love and thought into what we do. Please support us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.